I'm just amazed at how much the American economy cattle prods us into blowing energy to make them happy. I mean, living a homeless lifestyle is extremely difficult because I'm constantly getting cattle prodded by the cops. Constantly have to move. I'm more of a car camper, but it's a problem where I'm having to keep moving along quite frequently, and have to be completely very careful about being within any private parking areas. I'm I'm also hesitant about being in some public areas like residential too, because you can have little old ladies who call the cops on you after like 5 minutes of parking in front of their house or something. And I don't know who all lives in the homes. I know when I park at a business, I know what to expect. But when I park on the side street in a residential area next to somebody's home, I don't have much of a clue. I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's living inside that house. I know what's going on with the business. Um, and so I can have more of a preconceived notion. Park at Walmart, they'll leave you alone. And a lot of times they'll put signs up saying, you can stay you can't stay overnight, or you can stay a certain period of time or whatever. For like Lowe's, it seemed like a friendly place. I didn't see any signs that said no overnight parking. So and with my past experiences at other stores like Home Depot, I knew what to expect. I could sleep overnight at a Home Depot for a night or something. I did that in Warrenton, Oregon, and several other places as well, with no problems. So I'm constantly getting cattle prodded, and it really bothers me how forced we are to be dependent on driving and moving around, and uh, just trying to be prodded to spend money and energy. Um, you know, we got all these great emission tests for cars to try to reduce smog and all the smoke and maybe even the smell, but there doesn't appear to be any standards for heat, and global warming is supposed to be a thing. We're reducing the smog, but we're getting more efficient with how we're burning things to produce a smokeless fire. Okay, so there's corporations out there that are creating these fires without any smoke. All right, and yeah, you don't see it, maybe you don't smell it, but it's still warming up the earth. We're still heating up the earth. You have a really good campfire that doesn't produce any smoke. You think, wow, this is efficient. But as the human population keeps growing and growing, there's just going to be more fires out there because we rely a lot on cooking, and we're making burning things more efficient. Granted, it's smokeless, and people and companies may be well within the regulations for the smog and the smokestacks catching the smoke, but that heat is being generated by a lot of human activity. So it's not regulated, and that's unfortunate. And I mean, we're getting cattle prodded into having to continue to burn more of these fuels too. There's like a bare minimum with the economy that you have to keep moving. You have to be able to dance for the cops, pretty much. That's the bare minimum in the economy. And then the max, of course, there really is no max. You watch movies and the media and the glamour. Yeah, they'll say the ceiling. There is no ceiling. There is no limit to how much money you can make, and they encourage you to make as much as you can. But there is definitely a limit. All right. If you're barely making anything, you can expect to be cattle prodded by the cops. All right. If you don't have a home, if you're homeless, you're poor, expect to get cattle prodded by the cops. And that's how they keep the economy going. How we keep fossil fuels burning. Okay. Um, it's really it seems like such a train wreck to me. To have to, to have to abandon simpler ways to make the cops happier. And it's not really so much the cops. The cops are just doing their job. They're doing what the city council is telling them to do, and the city council wants that money. All right, they're gonna want that property tax. They're gonna want sales tax, all that. Poor people don't have that, so you got to cattle prod them into something that can make them money in some way. And it's the cities that are really getting bad on cattle prodding people, the poor people. And they're standardizing it too with the singularity. I mean, there's more and more cities that are going up on the same website that publishes like your ordinances or codes or whatever, and people can see and compare different cities and say, hey, why doesn't this city have this code? City council members or the citizens in the city may bring those issues up and say, why aren't we more like these people? Why aren't we harder? You're going to see a lot of standardization. Practically every park, I would say every single park in a city now has a curfew in it. That is a standardized measure, okay? You cattle prod people out of there at night, all right? Every city's got it. And cities are just going to get harder and harder. It's anti-youth laws. They're going to get harder. And I'm scared about the future for that, because I mean, they could get to be like Seaside, Oregon, and make a $700 fine if you're caught sleeping in your car either during the day or night. So if you just lay back, close your eyes for a little bit, and a cop comes by, you could get a $700 ticket straight up. All right, and more cities can learn about that stuff as it becomes more of a singularity, and these ordinance services where you can find city ordinances online come into more existence. You could get to the point where you confuse cities between each other because ordinances are so similar, and it may not be so much that they're effective, it's just the uniformity of it all, like the UCC, the United States Commercial Code, the United Commercial Code. It's to create uniformity in the economy. You can order something from one place, order it at another place, and then have it shipped from even a third different place. All right. So with that, you want to make it uniform in trade across the United States. If you got all kinds of different weird laws and in different sectors or whatnot, it's going to create a lot of confusion, a lot of problems, a lot of arguing. You just uniform it, make it uniform, and you settle that issue a little bit more, because then people know what the standards are with the UCC. And I think city codes are getting to be that way too, where you can pretty much expect every city to read the same way. All right, and they're getting harsh. They're getting really harsh with these with the disorderly conduct. I mean, I went to YouTube. I'm like, okay, what is disorderly conduct? And YouTube, the people that made the video are behind. They're just talking about how you're berating, being loud, fighting people. No, it's disorderly conduct is a lot more complicated than that now. They just keep tacking on them riders to disorderly conduct. Now it can be loitering, just looking weird at somebody. It's curfew. I'd have to look at it again. There's so much more to it that beyond just getting into a fight. That it's such a broad, amazing charge that the cops just throw at you and just find something in there now that they can use against you if they don't like you particularly. But yeah, once again, it's springtime, getting to be summer, warming up pretty quickly in Idaho area, and we probably can, the way it sounds, we can expect another warmer and even warmer summer. And the gas prices are cheaper, and so that makes it even easier to cattle prod the poorer people and to just keep moving along, burning them fossil fuels, creating more heat on the earth, and more environmental issues with that. But at least we got the smog taken care of. There's less smoke in the air.